Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. It's Sunday night. Another weekend just cruises by as we inch closer to the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, and everything else. So here we go. Let's get into this list. We have quite a list. If you see, I changed it up just a little bit. We're not going to go over everything every night. I kind of put some of them ETFs and the other ETFs on there for my reference as things are popping up. We can look at them. So here we go. Let's get cruising. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. Here we go. Let's rock and roll. PW. I've seen a few people talking about this thing as if it's going to pop off. I know it ran last week because I saw a few people talking about it. So on Thursday, it did run up there. It pulled back. It's coming out of the out of the basement, out of the top right there. And let's just take a look at this power right. And again, it jumped up there Thursday. It got up to what, 259. It's sitting at 206. And it just has that pullback look. But I'll tell you what, it can pull back into the 170s and still pop up. Maybe it pulls back a little bit and gets set up. It's definitely setting up to run there. So I would keep an eye on it for a little bit of pullback here. See if you can get a better price on that PW. It's a real estate company or whatever. And yeah, it's just setting up right here and it ran up, so you don't want to grab it too fast when it's gonna pull back on you. So just make sure you get it at the best price right there, and it will set up PW. And I don't know what they have going on, but like I said, I've seen a couple people did like them, and so there you go. And it doesn't look too bad. It just ran up and then let it come back down, and it'll be really good. Lucid LCID, we were super early on this. I kept telling you guys it was setting up. We knew where the bottom was. It was at that $2 or under, and what was it, 193? And we looked at it right there, and it ran up on Friday. It got up to 233, and it is looking good, guys. LCID, so keep an eye on that Lucid. And again, it can run up to that 257 area. It's at 230, and it's looking strong. And we were super early. Again, the setups just tell you what they want to do, and boom, that one did it. So watch for that one to continue its way up tomorrow. That one should have some momentum, and obviously it's going to depend on how the market conditions are, but as of how it closed Friday, it does look strong to continue running up there LCID. So keep an eye on it. BCDA, that biocardia. This thing is setting up, guys. It looks really good right there. Let me see. Let me see what it did in the after hours if it didn't pop up already. Let me take a look. 226 to 206, and it closed at 212. Just coming down. It looked much better on the Finviz right there. Maybe it's going to watch for a dip and rip situation right here on BCDA. I'll keep an eye on that in the morning because it's not looking bad with that pullback, and it's definitely setting up right there. So I would say that thing may have a little dip and rip. Maybe Friday was it, so I'll keep an eye if it wants to roll off there tomorrow and get cruising, and keep an eye on it in the morning if it's trying to get cruising. Uber, UBER, took that really nice dip there on Thursday. And let's see what it ended up doing Friday, 66.02, and it closed at 66, so right around where it opened. And I think Thursday was at bottom at 64.28, and it is at $66. So keep an eye on it. We'll see if it can get bouncing again. I'll keep an eye on it just to make sure that it wants to start bouncing and it's not just kind of making a base down there. And so I'll keep an eye on Uber, UBER, and we'll try to catch that bad boy on the ride up because, again, it dipped down pretty good and it was just in the 80s. October 11th, and then it was still in the 70s, so for most of it until it just dipped down. So Uber will probably be a good drive back up. We just have to find it at the right spot. ORIS. Oriental Rise Holdings. This one's a fairly new one, and it ran way up there the other day. I was just kind of taking a peek at it real quick, and on Thursday, on the 5th, this thing went a little nutty. I remember 836 to $57. We weren't even looking at it, but it did go crazy. I remember I saw it, and it had recently just opened, but I think this thing might be pulling back. It's really hard to tell, and I'm not so sure it's ready yet. So ORIS, I can take a look at that in the morning just to see what it's going to try to do, but it's not really telling you anything. It did pull back on Friday. It took a nice dip there. And what it do? 1102. It got up to 1540 and came down to 227 and closed at 336. So it ran all the way up to $57 on Thursday, and then it came all the way down to 227 on Friday. So that's a pretty big run up and dip. So we'll keep an eye on it and see what it wants to do, but I'm not so sure it wants to get bouncing just yet. VMAR, that Vision Marine Technologies. Let's see what this bad boy's doing. It looks like it had that bottom back here at $1.54 is what it's looking like. Let me see on here. Good possibility. It should be. It's trying to set up and get moving again. It did have some nice dippage. It's been in the basement for a while, and it does look like it is trying to get curled up there. So I would keep an eye on this bad boy tomorrow. I think it's going to try to get moving again. And again, I think that bottom 155, what it was back here, what I just say that was right here. 154, yeah, right there was the bottom. You're at 174 right here, and I think that one's going to be a mover tomorrow, so keep an eye on that. RGTI, this one we watched for a little while. This is one of them computing hardwares, and I know Laptop Travel now this bad boy. It was up $1.20 on Friday, and it looks like it wants to keep cruising into the top. So RGTI, that one did go booming 320 to 428, and it's sitting at 454. So it's up there. It looks like it wants to keep its momentum. Just keep an eye on that. And that's one of them computing hardware companies, computer hardware. And we know a lot of them are set up like them QTUM and all them Quantums and all them guys. So we'll be looking at them as well. Luis Rodriguez asked to look at all them bad boys. So we'll take a look at them. And that's RGTI, and look for that to keep its momentum in the morning because it should. And how about X? That's X, United States Steel Corp, and that's just the letter X. It was pulling back down here, dipping down, but definitely setting up bullish. But I would watch for it to come down into the 36 if it can. Let me take a look at it on mine here. And it's just look, maybe it's not going to come down that far. I would watch for some dippage down to 36. Yeah, maybe it will. It's just in between that channel right here, 39 and 38, but it's obviously dipping a lot lower. Its real low is back here at 35.07. That was the real low, but maybe you'll catch it at 36 while it's in this channel and get a little dip action. And it is setting up to be bullish, I would say like a month down the road or so. So nothing that you have to jump on immediately, but also watch for them dips too, because it is going to be setting up bullish. So that one's going to have some time, I would say probably about a month or so. Like I said, SATL, let's see what that's doing. SATL, Satellogic. This thing's been running up into the top. I think this was on one of our lists before. SATL, I do remember it. And this thing went nutty. I mean, it's been running since I would say November 20th, and it's been running up. It started on November 20th at $1, and right now it's sitting at $4, and it ran up to 440 on Friday. So keep an eye on this. It's way up there. SATL. Again, it's way in the top. It's something I probably wouldn't be chasing up there. I mean, I'm amazed that it even ran up that much, but if it's an aerospace and defense, so keep an eye on it. So, you know how these are going. And hey, I don't know if many of you have seen any of this news. I don't know how national it is, to be honest with you. It's kind of been on the hush, but here in New Jersey, the entire state at night, and I saw these things like over a month ago. These huge drones are just like flying over all over the place, and I was pointing them out about a month month and a half ago to my wife. I was outside doing something, and all of a sudden I see these three lights, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And I always watch the plane. I'm pretty close to the airport, the Philadelphia airport. So I watch the planes. I mean, they fly right by nonstop. I mean, you can see where they take off and where they come in. You can see the flight patterns. You kind of pick up on them because it's all the time. And you're just watching these things and you kind of pick up on things that are odd as well. And these things were just flying around in spots they shouldn't be because you kind of I have an idea of where they're not allowed to fly either, restricted airspace. And I'm like, what the hell are these things doing? And my wife's like, maybe it's military. And now I'm telling you, it's all over. The FBI's investigating. So I'm not sure if anybody even knows about this because, like I said, it hasn't seemed to be a national story, but definitely big in New Jersey, even Delaware and a couple other states in this little area around here. And these things are giant. I mean, huge drones just flying over. They've been over military bases. They were over Trump's golf courses, all kinds of places. Like I said, they pretty much traveled the entire state at this point, and it's kind of bizarre. No one knows what's going on. So, yeah, we need a little satellogic. That's what just made me think of it because it's crazy. So, if you haven't heard about that, check it out, look it up. And there's plenty of video and stuff too. Like I said, I saw them as clear as day. I mean, they're flying low as can be. It's crazy. That's how you know that they're not exactly something that's supposed to be going on. And like I said, the FBI has no idea and no one knows. And generally, if it's a military operation at this point, the FBI would have an idea because they're going to be wasting a lot of resources. I mean, every local police station and everybody's investigating it and all kinds of stuff. Like I said, it's pretty wild. I mean, these things are giant. They look like the size. They're huge. They almost look like the size of a car. They're not your normal little drone that's flying over your house. So it's pretty bizarre. And again, we had that balloon fly through, nothing happened. So I'm not sure. Apparently, one was supposed to had come down in the woods last night, but I didn't hear anything about that. But anyway, so there you go with that. So check it out. Drones flying all over places and stuff that they're not supposed to be. And there you go with a Satellogic Aerospace and Defense. We can take a look at some of them and see how well they're setting up because XTIA is another one. And I'm telling you, this thing is going to get set up, guys. It did pull back. It was trying to run up the other day and it did pull back there on Friday. It was trying to get moving. It just couldn't do it. And it still does not look bad at all. So keep an eye on it because it could get ripping. And it does have that look, and the aerospace and defense ones have been popping off there. HAO. This is one of them China small cap ones, and this one was setting up. It ran the other day, what, Wednesday, I believe. And it's still not in the basement, just kind of pulled back, and it looks like it wants to try to roll back off and move. So I'll be watching this thing, HAO. I'll keep an eye on this in the morning because, like I said, it looks like it does want to roll off. It was trying to move the other day. It never got moving, so it still has it in it, and it should get moving. It has that 20's up here at like 18 cents, and we're at 12, just under 13. So we'll keep an eye on that HAO. And also them China small caps because they seem like they're trying to fire up. They're trying to. They're just not moving yet. So we'll see what happens. Gorilla Technology Group. That's GRRR. That was up 69 cents on Friday. Up a little more in the after hours. It was up in the top, and it looks like it wants to run back up here. So keep an eye on this GRRR. Three R's and a G in the front. It does look good, Gorilla Technology Group, and I would say that one wants to continue its way up there. So keep an eye on that bad boy in the morning. It's looking pretty decent. And APLD is Applied Digital Corporation. We looked at this thing way at the bottom. Again, I posted that I traded it years ago, and it is rolling back up there. And it wants to get past that $11 area. It's at 1080 right now, APLD, and it wants to get cruising some more. So keep an eye on that bad boy because it's looking pretty good right there to run up into the top. So that thing wants to run and keep its momentum, APLD, and it is bullish. And that thing has something to do with some kind of crypto and stuff like that as well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, but you can check it out, APLD. Let's look at ELAB since they reverse split. It was trying to move the other day. It's right in that right spot. I would say within this week it tries to get moving because some of them right in this spot took about 7, 8 days, trading days, and this one had about two go by already. So you're right around there, three actually. So we're right around there. We're right in this week in this time frame. It started to look good on Friday as well. So keep an eye on ELAB, ELAB, because it's looking pretty sweet right there. LGHL, let's look at it. LGHL, that is that line group. And let's see, it was right there. It's trying to get in the right spot. I think you're going to see this. Might have been a little dip and rip situation as well, the lion, because it was trying to get moving. It did November 29th. I remember it did run up there quite a bit to 27 cents, and we're looking at it at 17. And it was trying to get moving on December 4th again. It just never did. And like I said, I think it just had a little bit of pullback to set up, and you might get set up this week for the line LGHL. So just watch this one because that one is setting up right there. And QBTS, let's see that D Wave Quantum. This thing shot up on Friday too, just like that RGTI, and a bunch of them did. QBTS was one of them. And again, it's way up at the top there, and it's been at the top, and it can continue to run up there. I mean, look what PLTR and Sophia's have done, and these things, these computer hardware companies are definitely significant right now. So they want to be cruising and they can keep running up there. So just watch for that momentum in that top because they will run pretty high up there. ICCT. Let's look at this. I remember we looked at this before it was on a list and it did run up one day in November. I don't remember. November 1st, actually. And let's see what it's trying to do. It's getting right there. The 20's coming back down. It's not looking too bad right there. ICCT. And I would say it's trying to get moving 16 to 19 and it closed at 18. I would keep an eye on this iCore Connect. It looks like it's setting up and try to get moving right there. And let's look at that TWG, that what is it? Top Wealth Group. This thing, I mean, it was a monster dip for it. And now it does look like it is trying to curl up. It just keeps dipping down as it's already curled through. We already knew that. And it just keeps running up and then pulling back harder than the day before as if it was trying to curl up there. So let me see where that 20's at because it wasn't too far off. 30 cents. We're at 26. It's like right there. I don't know if it's waiting for that. It was sitting right there. It was right next to it. And now it just started to pull back a little bit. Maybe it's trying to make a base down here. We'll keep an eye on TWG because when this thing wants to get moving, it's going to be a nice run. I mean, we're at 26 cents. There's a ton of room in its way. October 24th, it was way up there at 13.50. So this thing has a lot of room and it could move. So we just got to get that right set up on TWG and HPH. Let's look at that highest performance holdings. And this thing is trying to curl up there as well. I would say this is going to be a winner this week. HPH. Yeah, that thing's going to be moving tomorrow. I'd keep my eye on that bad boy for sure. That's going to be a cruiser. NDRA, let's look at that one. Here we go, NDRA. And HPH, just watch for any pullback tomorrow, but that thing's set up. It wants to move, and so does NDRA. That thing looks real good right now. Let me look at this. Yeah, I would say NDRA is going to get cruising too. Has to get back over that, say 540, and it's good. It's at 529 right now. So I would say NDRA set up and looks good. MRNS, let's see what that's doing. MRNS, here we go. MRNS, that's at Marinus Pharmaceuticals, and it is just in the basement. It's trying to curl up. I would think that it was trying to base out down here, is what it looks like to me anyway. Let me see. Yeah, I would say this one wants to get cruising. And like I said, it did make a base down here. It dipped down on Thursday on the 5th. It dipped down pretty good and then wants to kind of bounce back up there. So keep an eye on this thing. It's not looking bad right there. And that 20's way up there. It was right there. I mean, at 31 cents, we're at 29. It could easily get back up there. And I'll tell you what, on December 2nd, it wanted to cruise. And then that's when it took a nice dip. And yeah, these penny ones are tough. I mean, that one looked great right there on December 2nd, and it just came down. And now it's going to be your better opportunity. You had that dip and rip situation. So there you go for MRNS. That one should be getting set up right there. ACON, let's see that. A Clarion. This one looks like it just pulled back, and let's see if it wants to bounce at all. ACON. I mean, it's got that crazy looking chart. I've seen a few of these that have been crazy like this lately. I would have to look at this one tomorrow just to see if it bottomed out. I could tell that bottom should be right around 16 cents, and we're right at 0.1669. So we're there. We're right around there. Um, so yeah, I'll have to look at that bad boy and just see if it's ready to go back up, and that's ACON and CLEU. Let's see what Clue wants to do. China Liberal Education Holdings, and this thing was trying to get out of the basement. I'd keep an eye on this bad boy. CLEU. Let me see. Yeah, I think that on the 4th, 17, 17, 18. I think that 17 cents is probably your bottom and it's basing out down here and it wants to get moving is exactly what it looks like to me. I would have to say Clue kind of based out right there and it wants to set up. So keep an eye on that bad boy. It is not looking bad. CLEU, not looking bad at all. Let's look at the cheat. Didn't we look at the cheetah CTNT? And that is it, right? I don't know. CTNT. That's the no. We looked at the lion. Never mind. I'm lying. I'm lying. We looked at that one, not the cheetah, CTNT, because this one ran way up there the other day. I know that. It had reverse split and it got up over what, $4. Right now it's back at 3. And let's see, it is pulling back, and I have to take a look at it on mine, see what it did in the after hours on Friday. It came back down to that 50 and it's just sitting there. It opened at 303 and that's it closed at 3 and it's just kind of sitting there, like I said, after that big run up. It could be trying to make a base right here as the 20's coming up. We'll have to keep an eye on it and see. That would be a heck of a jump up to make a base too, because I mean December 2nd, this is after the split. It opened at 190, so if it's trying to base around $3, that's pretty good. And it ran up higher than what we were looking at it. Pretty split, I can tell you that. So if you were in it and it split, you were actually up on it on that big pop up the other day. So there you go. It cheated. That doesn't always happen. Get in one and they reverse split on you and then it pops up and it's higher than the price. That's always nice when that happens because it's not very often. And the cheetah definitely did it there, CTNT. And let's look at FAMI, FAMI. This thing is setting up, guys. I was looking at this on Friday. I know that. And this bad boy is setting up. It's right between that channel of 29 and 31. And it is getting set up to try to rip. So keep your eye on it because it just wants to have a quick run. I don't know what they're up to. Again, a China small capper, and keep an eye on it because it is setting up right there. FAMI and TOVX. Let's see what that's doing. TOVX, that's in a pretty good spot right there. Tried to get moving that second day up to 146. Never did. Let's see if it's going to roll off and get cruising. It has a couple weird looks down here. Let me see. TOVX. Yeah, I'm betting this one wants to get rocking and rolling, guys. So keep an eye on that one. I think that one's gonna get cruising there. I'll even put a little asterisk next to it to keep an eye on that because it's looking pretty good on my chart and it's right there in the right spot. It has a couple weird looks too. And you know that they like to get moving. This GMM Global MoFi is looking good. That recently just split and it's in the right spot too. I bet this thing's going to get moving if this chart looks good. Yeah, this thing's getting cruising too. Look at both of them tomorrow. TOVX and GMM, they're looking both of them are looking good. And Global MoFi AI, this is, I guess, is an AI. Everything's an AI company now, but this is a China company, and it was up 54 cents on Friday. And I'm telling you, this thing looks really good right there. So keep an eye on that GM, and Buru. Let's see what BURU is doing right here. Couple weird looks as it pulls back, and I'm gonna say that it's gonna have that little pull back and wants to run look, and that's exactly what it looks like to me. December 6th, 42 to 46. It's at 42 right now, so it opened and closed at the same price, but it's not looking bad right there either. So I would keep an eye on BURU, and we'll see what it wants to do. I can take a look at it tomorrow and see if it wants to roll off of there. That would be kind of a roll off situation, and it very well could. I just want to go hit ASST, and I definitely missed the T, and there's definitely no ASS stock ticker. They definitely wouldn't allow that, so you're not ever going to see that one. ASST asset entities, though, and this one's in the basement right here, and it is trying to curl up there. I would say it definitely bottomed out there at its 40 cent, little over 40 cent, and it's trying to get moving. It's at 46. Let me look at this ASST, and I mean, it's trying to curl up here. It has some resistance up here at like 59 cents. It's at 47. So you keep an eye on that. It looks like it's trying to go up a little bit there. So that's ASST, and GNPX is at Genprex. And that one was setting up. Let's see, it ran up. I remember it ran up and then it pulled back and was setting up, and it is setting up still. It was setting up last week. I remember looking at it, and yeah, it looks like it wants to get set up and run very soon. So I would keep an eye on this too. It looks pretty good for this week, and that's GNPX. So keep an eye on that. NXU. Let's look at that bad boy. That one's setting up too. Oh, that had a nice little dip and rip situation December 5th on Thursday, and it tried to get running on Friday, just didn't do it. Let me take a look at this on mine, NXU. Yeah, I would say keep an eye on this bad boy. It has that resistance up there at 28, or it's waiting for that 28 to come down that 20, and it can get ripping off of that. So it could gap right up in between there too. Keep an eye on that bad boy. That one looks good. NXU. And how about that TRNR? This thing wasn't looking bad on Friday. I know that. It was up 5 cents. I looked at this too, and I'm telling you, this thing has that opportunity. That's why I kept it on the list. And I think it's going to get cruising soon. I know that 20's up there, 365. This is at 289. It does look like it wants to roll off that bottom there. Let me take a look at it on mine. Mine doesn't look bad either. And like I said, it's I know that's up there at the 350s and we're in the 280s, but this thing can get moving, guys. It has a lot of room, and if it gets up to that into that basically in that 20 area, and like I said, past that 3 area, it can really get cruising there. So keep an eye on it this week. We'll see what it wants to do. If it's going to do something, it's going to be pretty soon. Right now, it just had to get set up, and I think we'll have an eye on that bad boy and see if it wants to get cruising. TNXP. I know some people are looking at this, and now I see why. I never even looked at it on Friday, but it looks pretty good. TNXP. Yeah, I would say take a look at this. That's curling up really good, guys. So I would definitely take a look at this. That looks really nice. TNXP, I would say, is going to be moving. So I would watch that bad boy in the morning. LGVN. Whoop, let me hit that one. LGVN here. And that one looks really good. It just made that hard curl up there. And that 20 and 50 are meeting together and looking pretty good, I would say. Yeah, I would say this one wants to continue running. It ran what, 195 to 215. It's at 207 right now. And I would say that one's going to keep the momentum right there. So LGVN looking good. How about that ASRT? I was looking at this on Friday as well. This one's getting set up. It's just pulling back right here. So keep an eye on ASRT. And again, it's trying to trade in between this channel of about 94 to 104. And it's going to get rolling, curling up and set up here as it comes down, and it's going to have a little roll off and pop up right here. ASRT, Assertio Holdings. We've been looking at it for like a week or two, and it's got probably another week or so, it looks like, but I'll keep an eye on that. And we'll see what that one wants to do and how much that can run up here. And let's take a look at QTBS here. Oh, hold on. What is that one? Isn't that QTP? What is that one? I know there's a QMCO. What one am I messing up here, Luis Rodriguez? QT. What was it? QT. QBTS. That's it. The D wave quantum. I have the letters mixed up. I got it. It's QBTS. All right, there we go. And that one, I think we looked at it in the beginning. That's why I didn't but anyway, that one's running up. That, yeah, we did 506 and in the top, and like I said, that one could keep its momentum right there. QMCO. Let's look at that one. That's another one of them, Quantum Corp. And this one's curling back up, guys. So this one's about to get cruising again. That bottom was the other day when it got down to that 1105. It's at 1368, and you're about to see QMCO get cruising again. So QMCO is about to go. I would definitely keep an eye on that bad boy. It's curling up right there and looking really, really good for the morning. So keep your eye on them because they've all been running. QTUM. That's at Defiance Quantum ETF, and this just got into the top, and it's running. I mean, this thing's even bullish. So as it runs up, watch for a little pullback, obviously. But yeah, this thing's going to continue to run up there for a little while. QUBT. Let's look at quantum computing. This is up there, and this is going to get in. It's just gotten to the top, and it's going to continue that momentum up there. So that'll be a good momentum play in the morning. So they all look great. I'm telling you that. All them computer hardware ones. STLA. And let's look at this bad boy. This is an auto manufacturer in the Netherlands. This has got one of them weird charts to me. But let me just see what it's doing here. It did bounce up. It is going up a little bit here. Let me seal mine. See if I can get a better look. Actually, it's gonna set up, to be honest. It did run up. I would watch for a little bit of pullback on it. And but yeah, it's just one of them weird charts to me. I don't know. When they look like this, I don't know. I just maybe it's going to get bullish again. It's one of them bearish ones, and it doesn't run. It runs around like. I'll just give you an example because I just picked a random day, and July 18th, $21 it opened. Its high was 2105, and its low was 2046. It's one of them ones that doesn't run around a lot, but then it has like these big dips. So you got to be real careful with it. We'll see if it wants to change directions and start moving back up that STLA. It's just one of them charts I would generally just skip because I just don't like the way the feel of it and the look of it. But that's just personally me. And let's look at that ETHU. That's that two-time Ether ETF here, can't even talk, and that was up $1.40, and that one wants to continue to go up. So let's keep an eye on that one, ETHU, because that one's looking really good as well. So watch that one for some momentum right there. And let's just keep on cruising right on through here and look at Rime, RIME. I know a lot of people are looking at this guy. I checked it out and it did look really good to me. Let me just double check it and see. It's in the basement. I know that. And it had that nice dip on Thursday. I know people are looking at it way before that. And RIME. And I would say it's trying. I would think that's that dip and rip situation. It opened at 9. It got up to 10 on Friday. But on Thursday, it opened at 17 and came down to 9. And Wednesday, it was up at 21. And it's been way up at 22, 23, 24. I mean, 35. It just keeps going up. And now it just kept coming down. And I think we are going to see it. So patience worked out on that one. I can tell you that. RIME. And I know a couple people are talking about about it online. Just make sure it's ready to bounce. I'll look at it tomorrow for sure and let you guys know what I think about it. And GNS is another one, but I'll tell you what, this guy's getting set up, guys. So keep your eyes on GNS, that Genius Group. And I know it did run up on Thursday. People were talking about this one as well. It kind of gapped up on Thursday. It closed on Wednesday at 90 cents and it opened at 120 and started coming down. Well, guess what? This thing I think is getting set back up. It's in between that channel and it looks pretty decent to me. I'm going to keep an eye on it tomorrow just to make sure it's trying to curl back up there. And I'll let you guys know about it, GNS, and we'll see if it wants to run again. And how about Holo, HOLO? This was up 4 cents, and I think that could be a little dip and rip situation on from Friday. So let's look at what it did on Friday. 171 to 180, and then its low is 164. It's at 177, and like I said, I think that's a dip and rip. That's exactly what that looks like. So watch for Holo to try to bounce up there, right there. I would say that's a decent one right there. And QLGN. Qualogen or something like that. Yeah, Qualogen Therapeutics down 5 cents, but this one is getting set up. It's just been making a base up here in the 450s, 440 area, and QLGN is trying to get set up here. Just keep an eye and make sure it doesn't dip anywhere below that 430 area, especially, that 438's its resistance. You don't want it to come much lower than that. And this one should be getting set up, and then it has the 50 up there at like $6. So it has some room to run, QLGN. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and see what it wants to do tomorrow, if it wants to curl up and get moving. So I will keep an eye on that bad boy as well, because that could be a nice little runner if it wants to curl up and get moving. IVP. Inspire Veterinarian Partners. This one we were looking at, it did run up on Thursday and then had a little pullback. That bottom was down here at 19 cents. We're at 21 IVP. I know we were looking at it back there. And this one could still run, guys. Has to get back over at 23. It's at 22 cents. So keep your eye on IVP. It's not looking bad at all. And SBFM, let's see what that's doing right here. This one a few people asked about as well, and I had a big bottom down here at 211. We're at 334. It's been running up. Let me see how far up it wants to get. And yeah, it does want to get cruising. That 20 and 50 are cruising up there and going to meet up and shoot it. So I would say SBFM is one. Just keep your eye on any pullback. And the 50 is at like 280. So it's at 334. And again, just watch for any pullback on that. But that one is setting up pretty nice. Peloton is PTON, I believe. Yeah, Peloton Interactive. Let me see. This thing looked like it was trying to curl up there and make that hard curl, but I'm not sure. It was hitting the resistance and couldn't get through it. Let me just take a quick look. Oh, yeah. Peloton should get through. I guess they're having a decent Christmas sale because it doesn't look bad at all. It's been running up. Remember, we were looking at it back here. I remember we were looking at it in like November. So if we were looking at it in November, it had to have been in the sevens or in the eights, and it's in the tens right now. So it definitely went up, and I remember talking about Peloton back then, and that's PTON. And like I said, it's I'll have to look at it. It does look like it wants to make that hard curl up and get up into the top and move. So we'll look at that in the morning. HITI, let's see what that one's up to. That's at high tide. And let's see what high tide's up to. It is trying to curl back up there and get high tide again. Yeah, it is. It's going back up into the top, guys. It came out of the top and now it's curling back up, looking good. And high tide's been just running up and it's super bullish. What the heck do these guys do? Pharmaceutical retailer in Camden, or in Camden, in Canada. What the hell am I talking about? In Canada. That was funny. Um, yeah, there you go. My brain is fried. But anyway, high tide, pharmaceutical retailer in Canada. And so yeah, it doesn't look bad. I'll tell you that. I would look for a little, like I said, it was a pop back up. It's going to get up into the top, and then I watch for a little pullback as it sets up to keep running up. So that thing has a good look. It looks pretty solid in the future. ANNX. Let's look at this one, Annex, and this one. Oh, this one's looking really good, guys. It pulled back the other day on the third, and its low is 483. You're sitting at 510. You're not that far off, and it is looking good to curl up and get cruising. You want to keep an eye on this bad boy this week, especially look at it tomorrow, see if it's cruising, because it will be setting up right there. So watch that one. NIO. Let's look at NIO, that car manufacturer, auto manufacturer in China. It was setting up last week. We found that bottom was down here around like 420 something, 428 area. We're sitting at 462. And like I said, this thing was looking good last week. Let me just take a look at it on mine. If I could get to NIO, there you go. And it is sitting right there. It's just got to bounce up tomorrow, and it's money. It'll stay between this little channel of 533 and 462 and get set up. So we'll have to look at that and see if it wants to do it. But very well could. And that's NIO, Neo. And let's look at Plug. This one we were early on and ran up the other day. And like I said, it was setting up there and just got cruising perfectly for us. And that's at Plug Power, PLUG. And I know it ran up in the after hours, right? It's at 238. It got up to 258. It opened at 242. So it did close a little lower than it opened, but I know it was running around and got up higher. And it is setting up, guys. So it does look good, even if it pulls back. It still has a nice setup going on. And Plug, like I said before, during COVID, this thing was like way up there. So, and I don't think it ever had to split. It never got under $1. Yeah, this thing could move like really well. PLUG. So keep an eye on that bad boy. And again, we were early on that the other day. And it's Hims and Hers Health. And this thing's been cruising up. I know we looked at it not long ago. I know it was like right around $29, $30. And Hims is at about what, 34 right now. And it's going to continue going up. So Hims and Hers Health is looking good right there to keep going up. I would say it's got some room at the top right there to keep going. It's about to get into the top. It doesn't seem like it. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I bet it tries to get in there this time. HIMS. And let's look at Hood, HOOD. That's up 275. Robin Hood looking really good. 4167 right around there. And HOOD. And yeah, that thing looks like it wants to curl up. It did run up on Thursday to 43.87, and it's sitting at 41.46. It looks like it wants to get higher than that right now. So keep an eye on HOD, because that looks like it wants to keep the momentum going. And IREN, let's look at that one. That's up $1.25 or $1.24. It looks like it wants to get into the top. IREN, yeah, 1543. It's not looking bad right there. What did it open at? 1420, 1588 was its high. Its low is 1382, and it's sitting at 1543. It's looking pretty good. IREN, capital market in Australia, and it does look pretty solid. That looks like it was trying to it's going to try to get up into the top there. So, keep an eye on that for a little momentum as well. And how about MRVL, that Marvell technology? We were looking at this and it bounced way up there. I forget who mentioned this. It might have been Luis Rodriguez. And it's a semiconductor company. And it looks like it might try to stay up at the top there. MRVL, just be careful. Make sure it's going to stay in the top. It could pull back. It had that big run up there gapped up there on December 4th. So just keep an eye on that. I'll look at it in the morning and we'll see if we can get a better price, because that thing's set up to be pretty bullish down the road as well. And let's look at GDXD. That is a microsector gold miners 3 times inverse leverage ETF, or ETN, I'm sorry. And that thing is getting cruising, guys. So it just was trading between that channel right there of about 1275 and 1430 something. and it looks like it's ready to get rolling now. So keep an eye on GDXD because I think that's going to get cruising, and that's a good sign for the gold. So we can look at them bad boys as well. And of course, AMDL is the ETF for AMD, so we'll just look at it real quick. And it was just pulling back right there, so we'll keep an eye on it. I don't think it's coming back down to its bottom, which was 948. It's at 1026 right now, and that's AMDL. And so we'll keep an eye on that. I'll probably come back to the MACD and then bounce back off, and we'll go over AMD in a little bit. And let's look at the Yang and Cold and see what that's up to. Here's the Yang. That one is dipping down though, and it's just right there on the 50. And I think that it looks like it's going to hit that line. I know we were looking at it last week, and the Yang was trying to get cruising. The Yin wasn't. I think the Yang still tries to roll off of here and gets rolling, guys. Let's look at the Yin real quick, and just see if that one looks like it wants to pull back. And that one. Hmm. Interesting. That one looks like it does want to go up, but I mean, they're like a coin flip right now. I definitely will look at them tomorrow. The yin does look like it would rather go up, and then the yang does look like it would rather go down, but I could see it bouncing right off that 50 right there in the line. So I'll definitely have to look at them bad boys in the morning. And Boyle and Cold, let me look at them real quick. Boyle is way down there, and its bottom was the other day at 36 something, or was it 36.42? And that's Boyle, Boil. And that one I think is going to try to get curling back up there. So let's look at Cold and see what that wants to do if it's going to get cold. And Cold. Yeah, I think Cold's going to try to curl back down and come back down a little bit. That's what the chart looks like at the moment. I can see if they change around tomorrow at all, but that's what it looks like right there. So that's Boyle and Cold right there. And let's look at OCTO. Let's see that bad boy. That one's just running kind of flat. It's not even that bad. I forget. I think RD has this guy, and it just kind of pulled back. And like I said, it doesn't look terrible right there. Let me see what it did in the after hours here. Nah, it doesn't look bad at all, to be honest with you. 184 to 189. It's at 180, and it looks really good, honestly. I would keep an eye on this tomorrow. OCTO. I would definitely keep an eye on it. Doesn't look bad at all. It's just been bouncing around right there, and it could definitely run. I know it was down a little bit Friday, but nothing crazy, honestly. They've all been dipping and ripping, so you almost look for it at this point. So keep an eye on that OCTO. REVB, Revelation Biosciences. This one ran up the other day. I remember on the second. What was that, Monday? And now it's way down here at 42 cents. What did it get up to that day? 97. Almost got up to $1. REVB. And let's see, that bottom was Thursday at 29 cents. It's at 44 right now. I think it's going to try to start bouncing back up. So watch for a bounce on REVB right there and see if it can do it. CYTO, let's take a look at that one. I'm not even sure what that is. Hold on. That's going to probably be an OTC Altamira Therapeutics right there. And it looks like it's trying to curl up there. And that bottom was down here at 41 cents. You're sitting at 49. It did run up the other day to 61 on December 3rd. And it's in between that channel. It does look like it's trying to get curled up there, guys. So you keep an eye on that. CYTO. And again, it looks like it's an OTC. It's just coming up on mine, but it does look pretty good right there. IONQ, this is rolling up and getting back up into the top, and this has been a monster. So IONQ, we looked at this. It's another computer hardware company, and I'm pretty sure Jennifer Lee was super early on this bad boy, and it has been cruising. And watch for some momentum on that. And we already looked at Uber, so we might as well look at Lyft because Lyft was trying to do the same thing. It took that nice dip, and we'll just make sure that it's going to get cruising back up. I'm not even sure why they both dipped the other day. but it probably was making its bottom right there at 1539 for lift, and that was when it dipped on Thursday. So we'll keep an eye on it. I don't know if it's going to bounce real hard, but I think it's going to try to make a base and then try to get moving there. Uber was kind of similar as well, and maybe a little different chart setup, but they're kind of going to do the same thing. Uber and Lyft, they both took that dip, and Ford took it was a dipper down to the bottom right here, and it looks like it wants to get bouncing pretty soon. So it's been pulling back, and I think it's going to set up right here. Let's see what it did, Ford. It was 1050 to 1060 down to 1042. It's at 1052. And like I said, yesterday, Thursday, 1039, it looks like was its bottom right there. And its true bottom was back here at 1016. So not even that far off. And Ford's going to get set up, guys. And it may take a month or so, but it'll get back up over that 1150 and pop up. So mark my words on that. It'll be a few months down the road, maybe 2 months or so, but Ford will get cruising again. So keep your eye on that because that will set up and get moving. And that is the letter F, Ford. And CHYI, I couldn't find this one actually. I was looking for it. I'm not even sure what that one is. And but I do know OCGN. This one was this one could be a little dip and rip situation too. We'll have to keep an eye on this. I know it ran up the other day. OCGN. We'll see if it's trying to get curled back up there and get cruising. So that's OCGN and CADL. Let's look at that Candel Therapeutics. And we were looking at it the other day. It was ready to bounce, and it sure did on Friday. It did Thursday and Friday. Friday 490 to 543 CADL. And it is looking pretty good to continue that momentum. Just make sure it can get through this 540, and it's at 525 right now. So it should continue that momentum up there, CADL. But if not, just watch for any little pullback, and it's going to keep setting up there. So there's another good setup, CADL. And then I will go through our crypto and our big caps. I'm not going to do the ETFs every single night and all the ETFs for the big caps. I just have them on there. I made an extra list over there just so I have them and we can look at them maybe twice a week or so, or when we feel like we need to check them out or ones are going to be popping. I more or less put them on so that I would know and I can keep my eye on them real quick. And so we'll hit up the crypto, we'll do our big caps, and then we'll hit some of our laptop travels because that's one big list right there as well. He said he had a ton of them on his scanner, and I believe it. I'm telling you, the market looks great. What I tell you guys back in the summertime, I told you by Halloween it'd be getting good, by Thanksgiving it'd be getting great, and by Christmas and New Year's it'd be awesome. And here we go. Look at it. So also said that Trump would be the biggest landslide for 3 months and called the assassination attempt for a couple days in advance. So we're on to something on this show, and we just keep rocking and rolling and crushing 100%ers and all the big caps and now all the options, and we're having a good old time. So I see a lot of people posting huge profits over $1,000 profits, and I love it. So let's keep it up, and we'll all continue to do it as a show. It'll be really, really fun, and we'll just trade smart, and we'll trade the ones that have the best opportunities with the most profitable opportunity and the safest ones. So we'll look at our probability and risk factors, and we'll just knock them out of the park. And there you go. So let's keep on rocking and rolling. Like I said, I'll take a look at crypto real quick, and then we'll hit our big caps, and then over to our laptop travel list, and then I'll do crypto and look at what you guys want to see, and then we'll do our big caps and laptop travel list. So here we go. Let me take a look at crypto real quick and see how it looks right now. Before I came on, it was like a little all over the place. Bitcoin was down. They're all a little bit red at the moment. Bitcoin is at 99,200, and they're all at that spot right now where they can kind of do anything. They were trying to curl back up. They're just pulling back a little bit, and It almost could be a situation where that 30 and that 10 want to meet each other. And again, that's what the SMAs are, 30 and 10 now. That's how much they're moving. And it could be a situation where it stays over the 10 and waits for the 30 to pump it up in a day or so. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's Bitcoin. Ethereum's at 3,948, and it is still up over the line, coming down to hit it. We'll see if it can stay up on it. It's come down and hit it multiple times and keeps bouncing back up. So we'll see what Ethereum wants to do. Ripple's back to 248, and this one's kind of at one of them spots too where your 10's coming up to hit it right now, and it looks like it's making like that base to come back and hit the MACD, and it's coming down to the bottom of the 70 at the top. So it's hitting that bottom, like the top, at the top, the bottom line of it. So this is where it's either going to bounce or come crashing down a little bit. So keep your eye on Ripple right there because it's right in that spot. I'll be watching that bad boy. Solana's at 232, and that one is a oh, this one's actually showing us it wants to pull back here. And that's not good because your 20 or your 20, your 10 and your 30 did meet up, and it looks like Solana might want to pull back. It's not a definite. It could bounce right back in the morning, but that's the look it has at the moment. And I'll definitely have my eye on these tonight for sure. Doge is back to 45. It was up a little higher earlier. And let's see. It was trying to make that curl up, and now it's just pulling back. I think it's going to try to make that curl up, but we'll make sure. And that is Doge. Chain links up to 2673. It's not looking bad at all. And I think you might see some of these altcoins get cruising some more. And yeah, Chainlink looks like it wants to stay up at that 70 and continue to run. So there you go with that one. And Sheeb just pulled back a little bit. It was looking great there. And I'm telling you, this thing is just keeps setting up. It's about to come back to the 10, and it's touching the line. So we'll see if it wants to bounce off and get crazy. And let me look at that WIF because that thing was rocking and rolling, and it pulled back big time, down to down 19 cents to 367, 367, yeah. And that thing was cruising earlier. It did curl through and it just kind of pulled back. It could be a little healthy. It doesn't look too bad right there. And let's look at that Floki, FLOKI, and see what that's doing. It was actually looking really good about an hour and a half ago. And it just curled through, and I'm telling you, it looks really good. Keep your eye on that Floki, FLOKI. It looks really good right there, I'm telling you. And MOG, let me see if I pull that one up here. MOG, yep, that comes up. Here we are. It's down like 5%. That one has a crazy chart right there. I have to look at that on mine real quick. Hold on. Let me take a look at this one. MOG. MOGUSD. Let's see. I do not see it on Coinbase. I'll look at it on crypto.com. It looks like it's way at the top here and wants to come back down. So I'd be careful with that MOG, but it did run way up there. I mean, it went crazy. So there you go at crypto right there. And they're just like teetering right there. So I'll keep you guys updated and posted on them. And obviously, we'll go over them in the morning at 7 a.m. But if I see anything in the middle of the night while I'm looking at them before I pass out, I'll keep you guys updated on that. So there's your crypto. Let me go through our and see what you guys want to see the messages and see if I missed anything. And then I'll go through our big caps laptop travels and then I'll look at some more messages real quick. So let me just see what's going on here. And SERV for Luis Rodriguez. Let's see SERV. Here we go with that servo bot. Oh my goodness, that looks like a beauty. Do they have options on that one, Lewis? Um, because that one's a beauty right there, dude. That just popped off, and it looks like it's going to continue to just keep cruising. As long as it gets up into the top, it's moving, and it has some room. I mean, it wants to keep that momentum going. SERV, I'm going to have to take a look at that one in the morning for sure. That one's looking good, and that is that Serve Robotics. So that one is looking really nice right there. I like it. Let's see. Amazon we'll definitely look at, and Walmart and Costco. Here we go. We'll look at Walmart real quick. WMT, and this thing's in the top. I'd be careful. Remember, I told you guys right before it went up into the top, I was like, "Hey, Walmart's looking good," and I can tell you exactly where it was. It was either about uh like 80, it was like an 85 area, like right around there, 85, 86, somewhere's right there. It's at 95 right now, and it's at the top. I wouldn't mess with it, to be honest with you, but that's, you wanted it right where I was saying that it looked good, and it did run up. Costco is up $10. This one does look like it wants to run up into the top, and again, it's going to run up into the top, so it's got to be a momentum play up there, and it does look pretty good to run up there. Drew Ski, and we'll hit Amazon when we go through our big cappers. So that one does we'll definitely yup, and perfect. It does have options on SERV, so we have to take a look at that bad boy because that thing looks like it wants to go flying, guys. And let's see what else. Parabol Wink ENTO. Let's see what that one is. ENTO, Entero Therapeutics. I know we've looked at this before. It just got right into the top, just barely though. It looks like it wants to keep that momentum. It's run up the last 2, 3 days, and basically started down at 45 cents. You're sitting at 86 right now, and it's one of them ones that you have to look at in the morning. It might not even be running first thing in the pre-market, especially coming off a weekend. But we can look at it. Remind me in the morning, and we can look at it and just make sure if it keeps itself in the top, it's going to run. So if it bounces down, obviously it's going to have trouble trying to get back up in the top immediately. But it has that momentum. The only thing is it's over the weekend, so sometimes that looks a little tough. You just don't know exactly what it wants to do. Not that you ever know exactly, but sometimes you can get a pretty good idea, as you can tell we do on here. And like I say, if I don't have a great look, I let you know, and I'll definitely look at it in the morning for you for that one. So just remind me, and I can look at that ENTO right there. And SOXL, that has got to be the semiconductor bullish one, SOXL. And it is the semiconductor bull 3 times. And this thing is looking pretty bullish, guys. So it is down here, SOXL, and it is going to be right between that channel. That bottom was 25.58. You're at 29.50 right now. And you're right at the bottom of the channel because it wants to run up to about 32. So that's a pretty good one right there, SOXL. And you know the semiconductor ones are going to be flying relatively very soon. I was saying take an eye at look at Nvidia as it was pulling back on Friday, and we'll look at that bad boy still. But yeah, there you go with that. And boom, here we go. Let me just take a look and see what's going on here. What did happen on the 60 minutes there? Well, I knew they were going to talk about Ripple on 60 minutes. I'm not sure. I didn't check it out, but I know Ripple's all the rage. And TMC, isn't that the metals, the company, TMC, the metals company. And this thing is, I remember we looked at this bad boy. This thing is trying to curl up right there. I can say that. It does look like it wants to, huh? Its bottom was down here the other day on December 2nd at 78 cents. You're sitting at 87 cents. And it does want to try to curl through and roll. So I would keep an eye on that. TMC, the metals company, not looking bad right there, I would say. Let's see. Right here, Scott, XTIA, HIAO, and we pretty much got them to let me know if you didn't hear any of them. The only one we didn't now was UOKA, but I know we nailed all the other ones. And let me look at that UOKA, and that was that MDH something, and it's MDJH, I think it was. It's MDJMLTD. And let's see what this bad boy, because they changed their name. It ran up $1 to $1 the other day. You couldn't even trade it. Now it pulled back, and it almost has that dip and rip situation look. Came down to like that 14 cents on Friday. I would keep an eye on this bad boy in the morning and see if it wants to pull back into that basement or if it wants to bounce there. I mean, it's in the basement barely, but see if it really wants to pull down there or if it wants to have that dip and rip situation. You can't really tell, and I can definitely look at that one and let me know if you didn't hit the other ones, XTIA, HAO, and LGHL. I know we got all them bad boys. Let's just look at it. PW, we definitely looked at that bad boy, and like I said, a lot of people are talking about it, PW, and it did run up on Thursday. It's pulling back. It'll probably try to stop here at the 170s, maybe 180. It's at 194, and then it's going to set up. It is definitely setting up. You can see it's setting up long term and in the future. So that one is setting up there. And let's see. Let me see. Which one were you talking about? PW. I just went over it again. See that? I looked at that. CS Pano. So yeah, that's PW, and like I said, it ran up. It's just pulling back. Had nice pullback on Friday. I would look for a little more. I know it was up about 4 cents in the after hours right there, but it's not looking bad. I'm telling you, it is a bullish type stock right there. So you can see it setting back up. Just got to watch for any pullback and dip and rip because they've been loving them dip and rip situations right now. So you just have to be aware of that for sure and make sure you don't get caught. So there you go with that PW and a lot of people talking about that bad boy and KULR. Let's look at that bad boy. KULR is coming out of the top, it looks like. And it had run up there quite a bit. I mean, I'm surprised it actually stayed up at the top on Friday. Maybe it's trying to crawl back up. It did run up the other day on the second to like 196. And then on the fourth, it pulled back. And that could be its low at 96 as it's back to 127. I have to look at this in the morning and see if it wants to try to bounce back it. You'll know in the morning, honestly, if it's bouncing back off in the off that line, the bottom line at the top, and trying to stay in there. So you would definitely be able to tell that one. And boom, XTIA. I know we did that one. And here we are. What is that? Oh yeah, that one wasn't looking bad. I'm telling you, that aerospace and defense, they're looking pretty decent right there. Let me check out DNMR. I'm not sure what that is. I don't even know. Danmere Scientific or something. Um, a recent split and in earnings. And it's getting set up in the right spot. I'll tell you what, add this to your list because this one's looking really good. DNMR, that one's looking solid right there. I like that one. Who had that one right there? John KCM, that one looks really good. I like that. Let me see. Did I get everything else? I think so. Cool. Let me make sure I got everything. ARM. Let's look at ARM. We'll do SMCI as we roll through them big caps. ARM's about to roll. ARM's about to get strong right there, Lewis. So keep your eye on that one. It is definitely setting up and looking strong. So it's at 140. It's going to get up to that 147 and pop off of there. So yeah, keep your eye on ARM. That one's another solid one right there. Looking strong. And we will be going over SMCI in a few moments here. And here we go. Let's hit our big cappers and see what they're up to. And like I said, we're not going to go through all the we don't have to go through Apple, AAPU, and AAPD, but I just wanted them next to there so I don't have to ever look them up. And we know which ones are popping or if they're going down or up. We can play them accordingly and also know what ETF is right there. So that's why I did that. So again, and then the ones at the bottom, we'll go through them. We don't need to go through them on a Sunday night. We're not going to be able to tell anything. And we'll go through them periodically, like maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and we'll know exactly where they're at, and we'll play them accordingly. So that's why I added them and changed the list around. And again, we'll zero in on the ones that are the best opportunities for them days, and we'll nail them. So there you go. So let's go ahead and look at our big caps, and then we'll hit some laptop travels. I'm sure they're all set up because he said it was a lot on his list, and he even shortened that, and there's a ton of them. So here we go. Let's look at the SPY, see how it ended on Friday. It was up $1.15 on Friday. It was trying to curl up into the top. I think it tried to pull back a little in the after hours. Not that that means anything. And it did open at 606 and got up to 609, and it's at 607. And like I said, it's still up there, and it does. It looks like it wants to run up into that top there. So we'll have to see how it opens tomorrow. It's hard to tell. And let's look at our big cat. I just keep putting AAPLY instead of Appley. AAPL, there we go. Apple, I switched them around a little bit. Apple's at the top up there, and we'll have to see. I mean, it has that crazy look up there, and we'll see. It might have a bounce in it, it might not. It could be pulling back to set up. It had run up, we know that, and I did have them options as they ran up. Amazon's been running up. We knew that was going to happen, and that one ran up over $6, and it was looking good. Let's see what it wants to do. I mean, it looks like it's going to keep that momentum. It says it pulled back 50 cents, but nothing crazy. So Amazon's looking good right there. And how about Google, GOOG? This was up 218, and I think Google's about to get crossing up and get moving. So keep your eye on Google right there, GOOG. It's about to get cruising. I think you want to keep an eye on that one. That one's going to be a runner right there. That's setting up really nice for us, Google. And how about Meta? Meta was running up to its all-time highs up there and ran up like another $14. It looks like it wants to get into the top right there and get crazier. So keep an eye on Meta to run up even higher. That was a blast. We got that one cheap. Microsoft, MSFT. This one keeps running up, but be careful. It's hitting that top. I think it's going to come back down to set back up, and that's where you're going to want it. Like I said, it ran up pretty quick on us, and I wasn't really expecting it, but it's all good. Nvidia is going to be setting up just a little pullback. It was hitting that line right there, just went a little bit flat. It's right there. I have a feeling these things could be opening up way up tomorrow. I'm just saying, it looks like it wants to bounce, and it has that look. If anything, it's pulling back to that 138, but I'm not so sure it will. The bottom was like 131, and I think it's going to get curling up and moving. And again, the semiconductors are looking good. So I think NVIDIA, that was a little dip situation for you. So keep your eye on the video right there. And of course, Tesla's been moving. It was up $19, and it wants to run more into the top. So just keep your eye on Tesla because it wants to continue going up there. And that is TSLA. So keep your eye on Tesla because it has been cruising. And AMC, let's look at it, came down 47 cents. I don't even know what happened with it. It was trying to run up the other day, and then it just came down. What did it say? Announced another stock sale, and shares tumbled on the 6th. So there you go. But yeah, it looked really good on the 5th. It ran up, and then it did tumble on the 6th on Friday, but it is still setting up pretty bullish, at least it appears to be. So keep your eye on AMC, and we'll see if that's a little dip and rip situation right there on AMC. And let's look at GameStop. That was up 43 cents, and this looks like it's trying to get curling back up. They have their earnings coming up on the 10th, which is Tuesday, right? Yeah. So GameStop has their earnings on Tuesday, and you know how much I like to play them. So we'll take a look at GameStop after earnings. And how about Chewy, CHWY? This one's just kind of setting up. It is setting up bullish, has a weird look. It's in between that channel, which is about 30.45 and $33. And it does, just like I said, once the setup, it just had its earnings on the 4th. So they had them on Wednesday. And we'll keep an eye on Chewy, see when it wants to get set up and rocking and rolling. Let's look at Netflix, NFLX. This thing's running in the top and looks like it wants to continue to keep on cruising there. So keep an eye on Netflix because that looks like a momentum play in the morning. And again, you want to look at the ETFs, they're right there. So you have NFXL, and FXL. Well, NF. No, it's not. It's NFLX. No, hold on. What am I doing? NFXL. There we go. It is right. NFXL. And that is the Dowie bull two times. And again, that's in the top. That's at $41. So if you want to look at that one, they're there for you. So that's why I put them all there. So everyone knows what the ETFs up and down are. AVGO. Look at this one, Broadcom. It's going up and it looks pretty solid to try to run up to that 185. It's at 179. It's going to continue to get set up here. So keep an eye on that AVGO, and everything's looking pretty solid, I would say. So keep an eye on that one, AVGO, and take a look at MU Micron Technology because this one's setting up really bullish, guys. So take a look at this, another semiconductor. Like I said, these semiconductor ones are setting up super bullish. They did have some dips back there on what November 29th area. They were pulling back, but they look like they're getting good right now. MU looks pretty decent, and again, it has some ETFs if you want to check them out. MUU, and that one is trying to curl up there and looking pretty solid. So there you go. You have all them to play. And there you go. TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing. And this one was curling up there, just kind of pulled back, but not a bad pullback the other day. So keep an eye on this one. Another semiconductor one wants to go up. And again, they have their ETFs and SMCI. Let's look at it because this thing's been booming. It wants to keep curling up. I said it was looking good the other day, and it's just been running, guys. So keep your eye on this. It's been curling up. It looks like it wants to continue that momentum for SMCI. How about AMD? This one, let me take a look at AMD real quick. AMD, here we go. Oh, yeah, this just touched back down here. This one's getting set up here. That bottom was back here at 132. You're at 138 on AMD. Just see if it pulls back at all, and it's going to get set up and start moving relatively soon. It's probably going to get set up this week for AMD. PayPal, let's look at PayPal. This thing just keeps setting up bullish, guys. I'm telling you, it's just been running up and being bullish, and it just wants to keep on running. So keep an eye on PayPal because that one wants to run, and that one even has PYPY is a yield max PayPal option income strategy ETF. So that's even on there, and that's setting up super bullish. So there you go. And that's PayPal. Snow, SNOW. This one's run way up there. Be careful with it. We had this way down there at like what, 113s, I think, and it's at 183 right now. So that was a heck of a shot. And that was snow. That was like a blizzard. QCOM. This one was down. Let it set up. Let it pull back a little bit more down to that 155. It's at 159. And this one's going to get really set up. QCOM. So just keep your eye on that. That bottom was down here at 151, and you're at 159 right now. And let's take a look at what is next. INTC. Let's see, Intel Corp. This one was a great pullback, guys. I think that bottomed out on Friday, and it is setting up. Patience is going to be a virtue on this guy because I think you want to take a look at Intel and see that one for some options as well because that one's going to be setting up relatively soon. Disney's way up there at 116. It's even staying at the top, but again, we knew that was running up. Nothing, let it pull back before we hit it again. Oxy, I told you, let this thing just pull back and set up, guys. It's setting up super bullish. Friday could be that dip and rip. That could be the bottom, 47.20. We'll take a look at Oxy in the morning, OXY, and see if it's ready to bounce. It might be ready to bounce, and that's a beautiful price down there. So that's why patience is great. Same with ExxonMobil, 113, another great pullback and get great pricing down here. So it's exactly why you want to be patient and just keep your eye on them and make sure you know exactly when they are going up, and then it's okay to hop in them because you know they're riding up, but there's no reason to jump in them while they're bouncing around and pulling back when you can grab the best price. Mara looks like it wants to roll off of there and bounce back up there, so I'll have to look at Mara tomorrow because again, crypto's all over the place right now, and that will probably dictate what Mara and Riot want to do. But Riot's really bullish, guys. So Riot definitely wants to run fairly soon. It's looking good. So keep your eye on Riot, RIOT, and MSTR. This one's at 395, and this one looks like it wants to get bouncing up MicroStrategy. So we'll see how that opens up, but it does look like it wants to bounce up. Them options are actually really expensive. I didn't realize. I was looking at them, and they're actually a couple $1,000s. I'm not sure why. And so if you know why, Lewis, let me know because I don't know why they're so expensive. But I don't mind when they're a few hundred, but they're like a couple grand, which is fine. I mean, it's going up. It's perfectly good. But I'm just letting you guys know MicroStrategies has some expensive options, so not sure what that's all about. CLSK, let's look at Clean Spark. This one is curling back up and looking much better right here. CLSK. So keep an eye on that. That one wants to get running, guys. CLSK looking good right there. Coin, COIN. This does have an ETF. I realize a couple of these do, and I didn't put them on. The ETF CONL and Coinbase looks really good still. So keep an eye on Coinbase, COIN, and CONL is the ETF for it, and it is looking pretty solid. So just keep an eye on them bad boys as well, because they're looking pretty good. And let's look at that DJT. It was up $1, and I'm telling you, this thing is getting set up, guys. It's gonna get rocking and rolling, DJT. So keep your eyes on it because it is curling up and getting cruising. So you want to watch that bad boy and fun. I already know that looks good. PHUN, it's getting curled up there and it just curled through and it's about to get PHUN fun. And you know when that's going to get fun, DJT is going to get fun and the market's going to get fun and all kinds of things are going to get fun. So there you go. It's going to get PHUN fun. And if anyone cares, Kansas City and the Chargers are playing. It's 13-7 in the third quarter, and the Chiefs are winning. And that game must be PHUN fun. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, the market is getting fun, and that one's looking great. MTN. Let's look at that Val Resorts, and it is up there. They have earnings coming up on the 9th, so be careful. That is tomorrow, and I wouldn't like that, but it ran up perfectly right for the earnings, just like we thought. And then you get out for earnings, and then you jump back in when you can tell what it's going to do. McDonald's was bumping up there. We knew it was. It ran up over 300. I know that it was at 303, and we looked at that bottom down here at 283. So keep an eye on McDonald's. It does look like it wants to continue to move up there, and we'll take a look at that MCD and see what it does. And that is McDonald's and Boeing BA. That's down 274 and let that pull back down here. And again, this company is just it doesn't even, it looks bearish to be honest with you, Boeing. So SPCE, let's look at that space. I'm telling you, this thing just has that look. I know it had that pullback, that crazy pullback, but I think it might be a little dip and rip situation like so many of them had. And I think space is about to get cruising that Virgin Galactic and SPCE. It is an aerospace and defense, and it is looking pretty good. So keep your eye on SPCE. I think that's getting set up right there. And how about Rivian? We knew that was going to run. It was up over $13, and it is setting up to get up to the top and looking good. So we were early on Rivian, of course. PLTR, that thing is just a monster, guys. So keep your eye on it. And if you like to play that at the top, like I say, that's why you didn't want to short it. That's for sure. It went up $4 and then another $1.53. So it basically went up 447 and a $1.53. So it went up like $6. If you had tried to short that, you would have gotten smoked on PLTR. So that's why I gave you that little speech the other day on Thursday. And I think I saved you guys hopefully a whole lot of headache. And Sophie was up 37 cents. And again, had that little pullback dip. And unless you could have sold it real quick when it dipped down into that, 1485, you were going to get crushed on that as well. So That's why you just want to stay away from them. If anything, play the safer ones. Dell is pulling back. We're trying to make a base. We'll see what it's doing. It is setting up, but it's making a base. And Nike down here at 78.89. And that is going to get curled up and cruising. We knew it was. And it is going to get back up to that 85 Nike. So keep your eye on NKE because that one wants to run back up to that 85, and then we'll see if it wants to get back to that 90. And that DXYZ has just been a beast, guys. And the other day I said it wasn't pulling back and it was going to go up, and it went up over $15 just the other day on Friday alone, and it is setting up to keep going up. So that's your DXYZ, and it is crazy. I'll tell you that. So that's a momentum play. And let's go ahead and look at some of these laptop travel ones because he gave us a heck of a list here. And let's see if we can bust right through these guys. And then we'll see what else you guys want to see if I missed anything. And we'll get ready for our pre-market tomorrow. We'll be good to go. So here we go. Let's look at some laptop travel ones and see what's going on. And I actually just saw on my ring just popped up, and I guess somebody, one of the neighbors, is talking about the drones. I just saw it pop up. I'm telling you, it's crazy. These huge drones are just flying all over New Jersey. So if you haven't heard about it, just check it out. And there's plenty of video of it. And like I said, it's been like every night for months, for like a month and a half now. And they just started talking about it. And I saw it a while back, but now they're just everywhere. They're like traveling all night, all over the state. It's pretty crazy. And it's alarming. That's what it is. So check that out. And anyway, let's rock and roll. And so I guess they're out there again tonight because, like I said, somebody just posted on the ring and that they were seeing these drones again. So pretty wild stuff. AIHS is looking great, guys. AIHS, this is the laptop travel list. And I'm telling you, this one's curling up. I'm not even going to mark them because every single one of them's probably going to have a mark here. So let's just get cruising right through because they're going to look good. AAKAN. This one is just, you do your, I'll mark them better. I'll put the marks down. This one's setting up. It's between that channel right there, AKAN. So keep an eye on that between that 155 and 177. And that one's going to get set up. AVGR, let's see. AVGR is getting right to right spot, guys. That thing is setting up real good right there. AVGR, let me see that bad boy. Yeah, that one's looking good. It even ran like 73 to 82 the other day and closed at 81 on Friday. So that's looking really good. AXIL, there we go. AXIL brands. And this thing is about to roll off and get cruising, guys. That thing wants to run. Keep your eye on that thing because that's looking good. AYTU, here we go, AYTU. This thing is setting up too. It already started to move, and it looks like it's going to keep that momentum. Oh yeah, 157 to 194. It's at 192 right now, so watch that one. Back BACK. I know we were looking at this back last week, and it was setting up. And let's see what it did. Did it do anything yet? Let me look at it. Oh, I just closed. There we go. Let's see. It was running around a little bit. It's trying to curl up right there. It did run up what Thursday. It ran up to 121, then Friday up to 119, and it still looks good, guys. So keep your eye on this thing. And it also has some crazy looks. So keep an eye on that BACK. BNRG was Bren Miller or something. Is that? Yeah, Bren Miller Energy. And this thing, guys, is going to get set up and rocking and rolling probably this week. BNRG. Remember, we were about 3 weeks early, and it did run last week. As a matter of fact, it ran up 92 to 124 on the 4th, and now it's getting ready to set up and run again. So keep an eye on that BNRG. BSFC. That's at Blue Star Foods Corp, and that's curling up and looking good. It's about to run right off that 20 right there at 29 cents and run up to about 39. So keep an eye on that bad boy. And let's see what this next guy is going to do is CMLS. Let's see. Not even gonna try to say that name. It's kind of crazy, and but it looks pretty good right there because it is definitely setting up. I can say that. CMLS. What am I typing in? CMLS. Here we go. Yeah, that one's curling up right there in the right spot. I would keep an eye on that bad boy for sure. CMLS, and let's look at CNET and see what that's doing here. Good old CNET's curling up and looking good. About to run up to that 201. It's at 183, so that's moving up. COCH. And this one's about to curl up and run past this 246. It's at 219. I'm telling you, every single one of these is looking decent. I looked through them. He sent them earlier. I just kind of popped through. DGLY looking great. DSS, I think there was about three or four that weren't like perfect. And I think the one AKAN was kind of bouncing around. There was just a couple of them, I'm telling you. DSS, this one's looking really good. Already started to run a little bit, 90 to 112. It's at 112. It should keep that momentum right there. Let's see what Edible's doing. EDBL. This one's just set. This one was just getting set up. This was another one that was just getting set up here, and is going to get moving. So this one's kind of getting there right before the setup right here. So keep an eye on Edible because that'll be setting up this week as well. FOXX, the good old Fox development, was running on Friday and not looking bad to continue that momentum. Oh, yeah, that's right. It ran Thursday too, 336 to 959 and 4 to 6. And it does look like it wants to continue the momentum. So just keep an eye on FOXX. It could hit the line and bounce back down and set back up. So we'll have to keep an eye on it, but it's not looking terrible. It did run FRGT, his freight technologies. And this one was just kind of trading between a channel as well. So 148 to 170. It's at 158. So just keep an eye on that one as it gets set up. G-Sun, this one was getting set up. It looked really good right there. It ran up the other day. GSUN. And this one, like I said, wants to run up to that 347. It's at 302. It tried to on Thursday. It got up to 326 and kind of died out. But G-Sun is looking good right there. And JBDI, let's look at that one. JBDI Holdings, and this one was curling up right there, looking pretty decent. JBDI, yeah, that one's about to pop off the 20 right there. And LIDR, I know we looked at this one before. I think it might be that an aerospace and defense one. It's like an Eagle Eye or something. AI, that's what it is. It's not. It's a software infrastructure. That's what it is. AIAEYE, LIDR. And this one's curling up really good, guys. So keep your eye on that bad boy because that's about to run really, really nice right there. And LIPO, let's see what Lippo's doing. Lapella Pharmaceuticals. We were looking at it. This one's just in between its channel right there. Not looking bad though. It's going to get set up LIPO. So yeah, just keep an eye on this because like I said, right between that. Let me tell you where it's at. 311, good band, and 282. So there you go with LIPO. That one's getting set up. It's just going to bounce in between that channel for a little bit. LPCN, let's look at that one. That one's right there and going to get blasted off. It's going to get right over that 513. It's at 510. And that one's going to get moving as well. LPCN and NERV, Nerve. Let's see what this nerve's up to. Let's see. This one's trying to bounce up there. It was popping up on Friday. And let's see. Yeah, this one's going to keep the momentum. It was popped up 207 to 226, and it's at 226. And Nerve should keep its momentum. And NVVE, let's look at that bad boy. NVVE, let's see what this guy's up to. Oh, this one's setting up great. I remember looking at this one today. I said, wow, this one looks great. So, yeah, definitely look at that one right there. And that is NVVE looking real good right there. OLB, let's see that one. OLB is setting up in a great spot as well. So keep an eye on that. And like I said, you can almost mark every single one of these. Just a couple of them still setting up. OMGA looking great too. I remember seeing this one. It's right hitting that channel of 92. It's at 96. Going to get up to 106 and then keep moving. OMGA. Like I said, that one was looking good. Just so many of them just sitting right there. Going to get cruising. So. A lot of great setups. OMH. This one was trying to curl up. It went a little flat. It hit that resistance on Friday. So we'll keep an eye on that one. OMH. QTI, was it? Hold on. Let me see. QTI. Yeah, that's it. QT Imaging. This one's just going to try to bounce around in that channel for a little bit of 51 up to 59, and then it'll get cruising. So you can keep an eye on QTI as it sets up right there. And RELI, Reliance Global. This one was setting up right here and looking good. So I'd keep an eye on RELI. This one looked really good to me. And yeah, it's just going to get right up over this 20 at once, say at like 160, and then once it gets over that 202 it's going to get cruising. So I'd keep an eye on RELI. It looks like it wants to run. I'll look at that tomorrow, see if it has that momentum to move it. RETO had a crazy look. It was up 6 cents, and that one looks like it wants to go. RETO. So I would keep an eye on this. Has some resistance there at 110. It's at 98, but it looks like it wants to continue that momentum right there for RETO. SELX. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one had a nice little dip and rip situation the other day. It dipped on the 4th, which was Wednesday, down to $1.10. It's sitting at $1.45. It opened at 141, went up to 145 on Friday. It's hitting that line. It looked like it should cross through and get cruising right there for SELX. So I would keep an eye on that one as well. SEL. Oh, I can't type right now. Holy cow! I think my brain just stopped working. SELX, here we go. Yeah, I would keep an eye on that. It looks like it wants to get to that 154 and try to get through. So keep an eye on that bad boy as well. And let's see. It should have momentum. SLGL. Oh my goodness. SLGL. Here we go. It dipped down the other day, and this one's curling back up in between that channel. So keep an eye on SLGL. There we go. Yeah, it's just in between that channel and another one just setting up really good. I mean, just a ton of them that are just great setups right here. And they may not all run 100%, but you'll get some movement out of these and some easy profits. I mean, you can just run them up 10%, whatever. And just lock them in. SLNH looks great to try to run very soon. So keep an eye on that one. I did see this one. I looked at a bunch of them. It opened at 310, got up to 370. It was at 355 when it closed. And then, like I said, SLNH looking real good. SOBR, sober safe. And this one's just getting into that right spot right there. It's going to start curling up and get moving. So keep your eye on this one as well. That one's setting up. And TACT, let's look at TACT because that was in between the channel. It should come up and hit that 428. We'll have to see if it can keep going through it tomorrow. It was trying to get to it on Friday, so we'll just have to see how it reacts tomorrow. It could have a little bit of pullback, but nothing crazy as it sets up. And let me see what else I have here. I don't even know what that is actually. TKLF? I have no idea. Yeah, TKLF, Tokyo Lifestyle. Oh wow, that one's curling up. I don't even remember looking at this. I must have skipped it. TKLF though is looking good. Wants to run up to that 445. It's at 375 right there, 379, somewhere's in that area, and looking good. VEEE. So a V and three E's is that Twin V Power Cats of recreational vehicles. We had looked at this a while back. It crossed through. It's right in between that channel right there, and it could just run in between that channel and stop at that 50 cent. It's at 45 right now, so just watch for that. VEEENUNLE, UNCE, I don't know what the heck that is. No, that's probably a V. VN. CE. That's it. Vince Holding. That's what it was. VNCE. That one's curling up. They have earnings coming up on the 10th, which is Tuesday. I'm sorry, Tuesday, and but it's looking pretty solid right there. I just wouldn't play because of the earnings, but that bottom was 142 the other day, so VNCE not looking bad at all. And XTLB, let's see what that's doing. XTL Biopharmaceuticals, and that's at 194, down a little bit, not looking bad. XTLB. And yeah, that's in between the channel getting the 198 and 185. And that thing's going to get set up and get running right there. And let's look at ZDGE, Zedge Inc. And let's see, that thing is setting up as well. It's right there in the right spot. ZDGE. And the 20's trying to curl it up, and you're going to get rolling back up there to that $303, and it's at 273. So there you go at your laptop travel list, and a lot of great setups. Let me go ahead and look and see if I missed anything here and see what you guys are talking about and looking at right here. Um, if you own MSTR outright, you can make a killing selling covered calls. The higher implied volatility pays a handsome premium. I believe that for sure. And the volatility is high and it's priced into the premium. That's what I kind of thank you for clarifying that. I kind of figured it was because it's so volatile. Most of them don't run like $40, $50 every day. So I kind of thought that, but I wasn't exactly sure. So there you go. That kind of answered that question. Thank you very much, Luis Rodriguez. And yeah, ARM was looking great. SMCI, all them bad boys we went through. We got all that. Let me take a look and see if I missed anything else. Boom, boom. Let me just see real quick on here if I missed anybody else. And let me go ahead and look at StockTwit, see what's happening over there. And it's a bunch of yeah, Farcoin is trending up there. So Farcoin is up like 60% right now. You can check that out. RXRX, let's look at that one real quick. RXRX. That one looks like it's going to be a momentum play in the morning, guys. So keep an eye on that guy. That one's ran up on Friday, not looking bad. Ripple was down 5 cents, like or 5%, like I said. IDEX, Sushi, Coin. They're all just a bunch of coins on there, so nothing real crazy there. And boom, I think we got everything, I'd say. So there we go. Let me just take a look, and like I said, I'll look at the scanner in the morning, so nothing that I have to look at now. So yeah, I would say we're in pretty good shape, and we'll take a look at that SMX tomorrow morning, see if it tries to get running again, and that LICN had a huge dip there on Friday, so we'll take a look at that one. That took a massive dip. It actually might have that pop up look in the morning, so keep an eye out for LICN in the morning, guys. And then the rest of it, we pretty much went through already. And that GXAI was running up. So there you go, everybody. I think that's a good Sunday night little preview for the market right there. Any questions, let me know. You know, we'll be on at 7 a.m. for pre-market. We'll do our Jolie's jumpers and our laptop lowdowns. We'll look at crypto and whatever's popping and moving and see what's going to pop. So there you go. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out on a Sunday evening. I greatly appreciate it. Laptop Travel and O'Hare's Bastard Child, Luis Rodriguez, and RD, Jennifer Lee, and the Pink Wolf, and Winter Mute, Sherry, Doge Mama 9, and Serial Winner. There you go, Serial Winner, and Stealth Trader. How are you, Jay Kratz? Linda, Bruce Love, Bruce Dehan, Randy, and X-Man, and G. Betsky, and Ahmed, and everybody else hanging out. Greatly appreciate it. And again, check it out, 7 a.m. And also check out the YouTube page. I'll put up this one too. They're all up to date. So if you want to check out and see what I do, you can literally go through and watch me just go right through the charts. So check that out. And anything else, questions, let me know. Send me a comment or DM. You know I answer everybody. And have a great night, everybody. It's actually 14-13. It's in the fourth quarter, and the Chargers are beating the Chiefs. So there you go if you want to check that out. And we're wrapping it up for our Sunday night. So thank you again, everybody. Have a great night. I'll catch you guys in the morning, and that'll be our pre-market. And get ready for this week because I'm telling you, they're going to be ripping, and we're going to be crushing them every which way. So have a good night, get some rest, and I'll catch you guys in the morning. Have a good night, everybody.